For more. That's Affinity Plus.
Arlen Swenson here with Northwest Blinds. My wife Carla and I have been helping homeowners and businesses in the area with window treatment needs for nearly 2 decades. Northwest Blinds will come to your home for a free consultation showing samples of the latest in window coverings. We strive to stay within your budget while offering professional installation and personal service. Give us a call at 218-236-4813 or visit nwblinds.com. At Northwest Blinds, we say, you'll wish you had more windows.
Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki, along with Meteorologist Justin Storm, and Bridgette Readel will be joining us here shortly. She's buying a bull or something like that.
She's putting a bid in for you, actually.
Is she?
Mm-hmm.
Good deal.
We just told you you're getting a bull, by the way. How does that make you feel? You've always wanted a cow, and now you're getting a bull.
Well, there we go. Now we can get a whole crew, what word am I looking for? Go ahead. Hit the
and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
We'll get a whole bunch of livestock going around there. Oh boy! Well, we've got some snow coming into the area.
What do you mean we got snow coming in the area?
We got some snow coming into the area. Believe it or not. Now, here's the thing. Is it a lot of snow? Is it a little snow? There's going to be a lot of wind with this.
An air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
No need to go buy your milk and eggs and bread.
Are you sure?
I think you're going to be fine. But I'll tell you, every storm this year our models have been over forecasting. Couple times we've had dry air undercut the main system, and once that dry air funnels in, let's say about 10,000 feet, between 7,000 and 10,000 feet, that really diminishes snowfall totals. Is that going to happen? I had one of our listeners email and ask, is there a chance that since we're going to have a northeast flow, and that's a northeast flow at the surface, are we going to get dry air undercutting this? Unlikely, but I'd put it at about a 30% chance that does undercut the snowfall expectations. So the models they've been over forecasting all year. I've lost 2 out of 3 snow bets this year. So I've got one more. This is probably going to be the last one I make if I lose this one.
I think I'm 3 for 3. 2 for 3. Yeah, 2 for 3.
Okay.
I'm about to be 3 for 4, though.
Oh, you're not winning this one. So I've got a bet with you, and I've got a bet with Heath. If you're listening, you're not winning this one. We'll put the over-under at 4.7 inches.
That's not what we did.
4.7. Because the models are going anywhere from 4 to 9. And if you were going more than that, so I'll put it at 4.7.
There's a chance that we could see more than that. Maybe not here, but in areas more than 4 to 9?
I think areas west of here on the 94 corridor could see close to 10. That's not out of the question. We'll see banding of the snow as it starts to set up. Where that sets up, it's a little early. I mean, you've got to wait until basically the snow sets up on radar, and then you can tell where the banding will be, and then you can tell where the exact heavier amounts will be. But a general 4 to 9 inches, it looks like, across the area. Again, could dry air undercut that? It could. We'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Either way you slice it, we're going to have those strong north winds, northeast winds, along with the snow. That's going to really reduce visibility, and your morning commute tomorrow is going to be very messy. Very, very messy, it looks like. And on radar right now, there's a little bit of light snow from about Lisbon up through Jamestown. Some of that might not be reaching the ground, but that's just an indication we're starting to get the atmosphere moistened up. And they just put out Storm Prediction Center, which usually deals and normally deals with severe weather, but it also deals with winter weather as well. They put out we call it a mesoscale discussion, where snowfall rates at 1 inch per hour are expected to develop along the South Dakota border and spread northward towards the 94 corridor as we head into the evening hours. Again, I think the heaviest is going to be focused from about Valley City out through about Bismarck, but eventually that's going to push to the east. And again, the heaviest snow I still think is going to fall somewhere along the 94 corridor, more than likely about Valley City to Jamestown, where some areas could pick up to 10 inches. maybe a little bit more than that as well. As the storm moves east, it will gradually weaken. It's a quick mover. By this time tomorrow, it's out of here. But after it starts snowing, I don't think the snow is going to really wind down until probably about mid-morning tomorrow, and then that's when the snow will stop, but the winds will continue. So winter storm warning is in effect for along the 94 corridor and down to the south towards the South Dakota border. Surrounding that, a winter weather advisory with lesser amounts. But again, most of our models are all in very good agreement on the 94 corridor being the bullseye with this, with the heaviest out to our west. But I still think we're going to get up to about 6 inches here, close to it in the FM area. Again, with banding of the snow, could see some locally higher amounts, lesser amounts out in the Lakes country, and lesser amounts up towards your neck of the woods, up towards Grand Forks. And then things will improve by tomorrow afternoon as that system moves east, and then mellow rest of the week with gradual warming up to 30 by the weekend. So all in all, a pretty quick moving storm. It's going to have a quick punch. It will impact our morning commute tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that snow spread into the area for your evening commute, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really affect your evening commute. If you're going west on 94 out towards Jamestown, that could affect your evening commute as it'll start snowing out there a little bit sooner. So all in all, not a huge storm, but definitely enough to pose some travel impacts when you factor the wind, the blowing and drifting of the snow, and reduced visibility as we head into tomorrow morning.
Sounds like a mess. Bridgette, how do you feel about this?
Well, considering I'm in South Dakota, you know it's going to be the worst here, right? Because it just follows me wherever we go, right?
Actually not this time. Finally. But now coming back,
good.
When are you coming back?
Come back, Dean.
What's that?
Pick a time. Do I have to pick a time because I've got to get back by a certain hour? What's my deal?
Well, I mean, are you coming back tonight or are you coming back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm coming back tonight.
Well, that's why it's worse up here.
Yeah. You're gonna
right. I was going to say, if you tell me I have to leave in a half hour, okay.
You got about 45 minutes, probably.
Yeah, you got a little longer than that.
Great. I appreciate the faith you have in me, you guys. Really.
No problem. And Bridgette, you had mentioned this yesterday, but what are you doing down in South Dakota?
I'm at a bull sale. That's what everybody does this time of year. You go buy bulls or heifers, and I am in Amherst, South Dakota, close to Britain. I'm here with another friend, and we are looking at bulls and heifers. These are the limousine breed. We are at Simmons Brothers Limousine Cattle Company, and the sale just started. So I stepped out for a little while so I could enjoy a part of my afternoon with you guys. For those who might want to watch a sale online, you can through DVA Auctions, and go ahead and see what's going on here at Simmons Brothers.
What are those? What's a top bull go for down there, Bridgette?
How about if I tell you as soon as that happens, and I speculate I will know this afternoon, and I can share that with you tomorrow?
Can you give us a rough estimate, like $500,000?
No, these won't go quite that high.
Okay.
This is not going to be quite the same level as some other bulls, but
Gotcha.
This is a quality commercial operation, and you've got a lot of local people here who raise good quality cattle, and they're looking for some solid bulls or even just good heifers. And this is not going to be some of those great big show cattle costs or anything like
Gotcha.
that. So just a little bit different setup here. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have a full report tomorrow. For those of you who are watching on the live stream, if you get a chance, I have sent in lots of pictures of what it looks like out here, so you get a chance to see what I am doing.
Yeah, we're seeing those pictures right now, and well, let's see. I've got a cow. I've got chickens.
You do.
I don't know if a bull.
You do.
We might be pushing the city ordinance if I get a bull inside city limits.
Well, you see, the technicality behind that is they say that you can have these animals, but they never said that you can't have one of every animal.
This isn't Noah's Ark.
It just
this
says
is
you
not
can
Noah's
have
Ark.
you can have 4 chickens, you can have a cow, you could have a goat, but it says nothing about having 4 chickens, a goat, and a cow altogether. So we're just going to stock that yard up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be a problem, Dean. I mean, really, you want calves, right? And you know what the best thing is today, too, is we're going to have a guest coming on here after a little while, and she can give you all the insight into those chickens you're getting, and that's going to be Julie Gardner Robinson. Julie is a nutritionalist and food safety expert from NDSU, because there's all those questions yet not only about why egg prices are high, but what's healthier, a white egg or a brown egg, et cetera. So we're going to want to talk to Julie about some of those questions. And
will she be able to tell us? Will she be able to tell us that all important question about which came first? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
I'm going to leave that for you to ask her.
We'll let Justin ask her that one.
I'll ask her. I don't mind. I'll take one for the team.
Oh, the dad jokes. The dad jokes. So,
speaking of dad jokes,
great.
Did you see the prices of chimneys? Because we're looking at refinishing our fireplace.
Oh, boy.
Man, the prices are through the roof.
Saw that. Put a bump. How's that?
Yeah, thank you.
There we go. All right. Well, we're going to get our guest all squared away with us. When we come back, we'll be speaking with Julie. If you got any questions you want to ask her, again, she's NDSU Nutrition and Food Safety Specialist. 701-293-9000. We'll be able to get any of those questions answered. We'll have all that and so much more right around the corner.
Hail Comfort King, honorable defender of truth in the land of comfort. I am here to offer my service to you in defense of slumber from the insomnia invader.
Welcome, good night, to our quest for peaceful rest and comfort for all our fellow citizens.
With our soft spot warranty and lifetime comfort guarantee, we shall surely reward their faith in the craftsmanship of Comfort King.
Indeed, good night. Say, what is your name?
Night.
Well then, night.
Comfort King Mattress Factory for queens and kings.
And peasants too.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like, 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. 800-926-1701. That's 800-926-1701.
How long is the warranty on your car repair? Hi, this is Matthew Carlson, owner of Fix It Ford Auto Care. Every qualified repair at any of our 3 Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo locations is now covered by our extended 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty. Yes, you heard that right. 5 years or 60,000 miles. Peace of mind, just one more reason to choose Fix It Forward Auto Care. Ask your service advisor for details. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
Hey, it's Bonnie and Mastati from Bonnie and Friends. Join us weekday mornings beginning at 5. Coming up on our next show, Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki will be watching the track of this latest system, which is going to drop a whole lot of snow across our region. Driving will be difficult. As usual, your Road Warrior reports are welcome. And Dr. Alicia Wisniewski, Prairie Winds Veterinary Center, will be joining us. We will talk about the value of a routine blood screening for your pet. All this and more in the next Bonnie and Friends beginning at 5 a.m. Join us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette Readel, your Ag Director, out at a feedlot, surrounded by cattle. So why wouldn't I just be out randomly hanging out with other cattle and livestock in other places, right? So I am joined by Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki and Justin Storm, our meteorologist, and even better, joined by our guest today, and that is Julie Gardner Robinson. Julie is the NDSU Nutrition and Food Safety Specialist, and we specifically want to make sure we talk about eggs today. Julie, have you been getting a lot of questions these days about eggs?
Yeah, every once in a while people will ask me about eggs. How do you store them and all that sort of thing.
Well, I actually called you because I had a guest I had a caller who had a bigger concern and question, and that was, this is the age-old question, are white eggs healthier than brown-shelled eggs? Can you help us understand that?
Actually, they're both the same. It depends on the breed of chicken. That will determine the color of the eggshell. So no big differences.
Okay, so really we can safely put that myth to bed, that it really doesn't matter what color the egg is. They're all going to be good for you, right?
Absolutely. High in protein, lots of eye-healthy pigments and vitamin D, so eggs are good for you.
And Julie, I've got a question. So, all right, you go to the grocery store, you see some eggs, let's say the more expensive ones, cage-free, they're usually brown. So cage-free brown eggs, usually those are the most expensive ones. Is there any real difference between those and, let's say, just the regular white eggs, the cheaper eggs that you would buy?
There usually aren't any major differences. It really depends on what the chicken was fed or what they ate, just like us. And sometimes if pasture-raised hens are out and eating grass and that sort of thing, organic material, they may be higher in omega-3 fats, which are good. And we can certainly find omega eggs in the grocery store. But, in general, they're going to be very similar. And think about your budget and your own personal prerogatives on nutrition and choose accordingly.
Julie, over the years, we've gone from eggs aren't healthy for you, they're too high in cholesterol, to eggs are healthier. What's made that change, and which way should we really look at eggs? I think of them as a great cheap protein source, and I know I say cheap and people just rolled their eyes, but compared to other cuts of meat, they would be, correct? And so what's the difference here? Why did people get so worked up about their cholesterol if they were having too many eggs?
Well, early in nutrition science, we really didn't know the relationship between the cholesterol in food, which is one thing, dietary cholesterol, and the cholesterol in our body, which is blood cholesterol. And actually, dietary cholesterol, such as you'd find in eggs, really doesn't have a major effect on our blood cholesterol, or the measure that you get if you go to the doctor and have lab tests done. So, a long time ago, and this was way early in my understanding of nutrition, when I was in college, we used to say, oh, don't eat so many eggs. But now, one a day is probably fine, so enjoy eggs. They won't hurt you unless you're advised for other reasons, like an allergy, that you shouldn't eat them. So
Are egg allergies more and more common these days? Because I've come across a couple of folks as of late who have noted that as a food concern.
Well, there are many allergies. Now we have a 9th allergen that's been added. Eggs are certainly an issue for some people, but I wouldn't say that they're an issue for lots of people. So it all depends on your own issues medically, and certainly don't diagnose yourself with allergies. We have a lot of people telling themselves they're allergic to gluten, or something like that. So you want to get your medical advice from a medical provider.
With these
Hold on. Facebook's not my medical doctor? Wait a second, Julie.
No.
Come on. Sorry,
Neither is
Justin.
WebMD.
You go right ahead.
No, you're totally fine. Neither is WebMD. And man, that's a conversation for a whole other story. But I want to go back to these allergies. And you had mentioned that eggs is this a new thing that people are becoming allergic to, or has this been been around for a long time and now it's just kind of being recognized as an allergy?
Eggs have been on the allergic list, I'll call it, for many years. They're one of the top 8 allergens, and we just added sesame as another one, but actually there are dozens and dozens of different foods that people can have issues with. So allergies to eggs have been around for a long time, and as with any kind of allergy, what you have to do is avoid that food, and that means you have to look at the label and the ingredient statement, because all food products are required by law to list any allergen of those top 9 now that are present.
Well, there's a lot of there's eggs in a lot of different things, but what kind of allergy is this? I mean, in like a severity wise, and I don't know if this is like a pretty universal thing or if it's kind of conditional based on the person, but say you're allergic to eggs. I mean, is this something that's going to, possibly kill you if you eat it, or is it something that's just going to kind of make your stomach upset and your gut hurt for a day or two?
No, if you have a severe allergy to any of those top allergens, you could, it could be fatal for you. So you really do have to be cautious and, see a doctor before you diagnose yourself. So it can be fatal. Allergens in general can lead to problems with breathing. That's your worst case if you can no longer breathe. But it can do things like cause skin irritation. It can cause coughing and all those sorts of things. It kind of depends on what type of allergy it is. And if you're looking for information on that kind of thing, a really good source is to go to the Centers for Disease Control, cdc.gov, look around, and don't go on Facebook, please, and get medical advice.
So, Julie, we've been getting some email questions as well, and one of them is, and I know this is very prevalent in Europe, where they don't refrigerate eggs the way that we do here in the United States. Do you want to address that as to why there's that difference?
I'd say the main reason is that we wash our eggs in the U.S., where in Europe they probably do not wash that natural bloom off of the egg, and that bloom is released by the chicken prior to them laying the eggs, and that actually kind of makes them airtight, and it seals them from the outside air and anything that could get inside. So if you leave that bloom intact, say you buy eggs from a farmer who doesn't wash their eggs, you can actually leave them on the counter. I personally would have a hard time leaving eggs on the counter, but it is considered okay for a week or so because they have that bloom in place. On the other hand, if you buy your eggs in a grocery store where that washing is required and they actually sanitize them to reduce the bacteria such as salmonella that might be on the outside of the egg, you do want to refrigerate those. And most of our refrigerators are at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's great temperature for keeping an egg fresh for up to 5 weeks.
And Julie, I know there's a way to tell if eggs are fresh. I believe you put them in water. If they sink, they're not fresh. If they float, they're fresh, or it's vice versa. Is that true?
Yeah, if the egg sinks and lays flat, the egg is fresh. If it floats, they're no longer fresh because that means that you are getting more air inside, I guess. So yeah, you can do that, but a better thing to do is to check the expiration dates. And just in general, with the cost of all food now, it's a good idea once you get it home to put the date that you bought the food on the food, if you store your canned goods or anything, it's just a good idea to use that FIFO rule, first in, first out, and rotate your stock in your kitchen.
Now, would there be any harm, let's say, in using, let's say that the eggs are not considered fresh, would they be safe to hard boil and eat them that way, or no, that's not a good idea?
Well, what happens is that eggs lose their quality, so if they're safely kept in a refrigerator and you had them in there for a long time, they'd still be safe to use as long as you cook them thoroughly. And we in food safety say that's about 145 degrees internal temperature. So yes, it probably would be safe as long as you kept that egg in your refrigerator if it was a commercial egg. So, you can certainly hard cook an egg, but keep in mind that once you hard cook an egg, you actually lower the shelf life. So you might take those eggs that have a 5-week shelf life, and then you hard cook them or hard boil them, and you just reduce the shelf life down to 7 days.
Oh.
I see. And if you'd like to join in on this conversation, ask a question for Julie, please feel free to do so. Give us a call at 701-293-9000. Before we head to break, I'm going to bring in Jake really quick because Jake's got a question for you, Julie, about eggs. Welcome to the show, Jake. What's your question?
Hi there. So thank you for taking my call. So are eggs, like, say you go to even like a grocery store or like Costco, they have like 2 packs of hard-boiled eggs. I think they even say organic, but I don't know. And that was a question too, what organic means to you on an egg. And then if they're just as safe and just as good quality, if they're hard-boiled in 2 packs and they're already cooked and sealed up and everything.
Yes, those eggs will certainly
if that's just as good quality as a regular egg, if you hard boil it yourself.
Certainly. When you buy commercially hard-cooked eggs, they've just been processed or boiled under more controlled situations than we can do probably in our own home, but they're certainly safe. And I would suggest looking at the expiration date or the use-by date on the package, so you use those within the time that they say they are of high quality and high safety.
Got it. Alrighty, and that was another question. So I'm just a single person. I never eat them fast enough, and then they do go by the expiration date. So they look and look good and everything. It's still not a good idea to eat them after that.
Eggs last a long time. Why we say to use them within, say, 5 weeks of purchase is for the best quality, but they are going to stay safe longer. What happens over time is you can't make beautiful souffles out of them or angel food cakes because they won't be high enough of quality. But they will be safe. They just get a little thinner and they don't whip the way they used to, in terms of making some of those fancy desserts. But if you're just going to cook an egg or fry an egg, they're going to be fine.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the phone call, Jake. And if anyone else would like to join in on the conversation, 701-293-9000. We're going to take a short moment here, and then we'll come back to rejoin this conversation. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. Weather is always changing. So if it's the morning commute with Bonnie and friends or the drive home with Jay Thomas, join Justin, Storm, and myself to get you the current conditions and future conditions you need throughout the day. Also, don't forget our LRC Spring and Summer Outlook, live with Jay Thomas March 7th from 2 to 5 here on News Talk Radio 970 WDAY.
Hi, this is Vince from Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables 2. Let's kick off the new year with a hot tub. Why? Because it's every day made better. When you sit in hot water, you're physically better below the water, mentally better above the water, and relationally better beyond the water. Isn't it time for you to invest in your health and wellness? At Hot Spring Spas and Pool Tables 2, we can make that a reality. Come see us in West Fargo location, Bismarck, and Grand Forks. Online at hotspringspas and pooltables2.com.
Remember when Dad took you to the implement dealer in town and you walk into the dealership and there it was, aisles and aisles of all those cool farm toys? Feel like that again, making those memories with your own kids and grandkids at the 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show, March 10th and 11th at the Alara Center. Admission's only $6 and kids 12 and under are free. See one-of-a-kind toys made by local craftsmen and aisles of those cool farm toys. The 2nd Annual Greater Grand Forks Farm Toy Show at the Alara Center, March 10th and 11th.
When was the last time you had a made-from-scratch pizza, all the way down to the dough? That's what they do with their pizzas at O'Kelly's Bar and Grill in Fargo. Handmade from scratch, fresh every day, including the dough. And you know what else? You can use those same made-from-scratch pizzas for fundraising. If your group is looking for new, easy ways to raise money, O'Kelly's is there to help. Your organization can sell pizzas, soup, and stew for fundraising. Just talk to Tori at O'Kelly's. O'Kelly's, delicious food, priced right. I-29 in Maine in Fargo.
The team at Cole Papers says go Dragons at the NSIC basketball tournament. Cole Papers is a proud supporter of MSUM athletics, and one of their owners is even an alum. Cole Papers has been family owned for more than 100 years and is now serving customers in 11 locations around the upper Midwest. They specialize in commercial laundry products, food services, packaging, chemicals, and equipment. And Cole Papers says go Dragons and good luck in Sioux Falls. Find out more at colepapers.com.
Cameron Foss Concrete has been helping build the Red River Valley and surrounding area for over 60 years. They help with concrete foundations and construction for commercial, agricultural, and residential projects. At Cameron Foss, they pride themselves on paying attention to detail and doing high-quality work so that the concrete project you want meets the budget you need and looks the way you want it to. Find out more at CameronFoss.com. Attention to detail that gets noticed. That's Cameron Foss Concrete.
Happy Harry's presents the 58th Annual Red River Valley Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. The Sportsman Show is really 5 big shows in one. A boat show with the latest in fishing boats, pontoons, runabouts, personal watercraft, docks, and lifts. It's a camping show with North Dakota's largest display of RVs, campers, and trailers. A travel and vacation show with over 100 resorts, campgrounds, and hunting lodges. Guarantee your dates now by planning your vacation right at the show. A hunting and fishing show with a great selection of rods and reels, tackle, and the latest in outdoor electronics. Daily hunting and fishing seminars featuring Ted Takasaki and Todd Ammonroot. Kids fishing clinics, live trout pond, and introducing the exotic birds of Wildlife Wendy. Save $1 coupons and show information available at FargoSportsShow.com. It's North Dakota's largest, the Sportsman Show, March 2nd through the 5th at the Fargo Dome. Bring the whole family and don't miss it. A Sonenko production.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. 1:38 this afternoon. We're speaking with Julie Gardner Robinson, NDSU Nutrition and Food Safety Specialist, doing a lot of talking about eggs and the differences between it. And Julie, we've been getting a lot of emails coming in about different egg questions and other food questions. And if anyone out there wants to join in on the conversation, 701-293-9000, or you can reach us via email at weather.or.ag@flagfamily.com. And one of the questions that have come in, Julie, was that producers and grocery stores put a layer of wax on fruit and vegetables to make them look pretty. But has that ever been done, or is there anything with food safety with that being eaten? And is it true that they put the wax on it?
Well, some fruits and vegetables are waxed for a protective layer. That has to be 100% safe for us to consume. So it's not a problem. You can always scrub it off. All we recommend with fruits and vegetables is to use running water and a little scrub brush if necessary, a vegetable brush, but there is no danger in consuming any wax because it has to be edible.
I see. And then there was another one, is what's up with people only eating white eggs, and is there a difference, and does it really matter? And I think we had kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. You'd said that there really isn't a difference.
Justin, that's egg whites.
Really not.
Oh, is it egg
they're
whites?
Asking egg whites. I saw the message too, and they're asking about egg whites versus eating the full egg with the yolk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well that's a great question. Egg whites are very, very high in protein, However, the egg yolk also has some fat, and it also contains the pigments that we haven't talked about this yet. There are certain pigments or colorants naturally in eggs that are really, really good for our eyes. They can help protect us from age-related macular degeneration, which is a leading cause of blindness. So eating those whole eggs is probably really good for you because of the lutein and zeaxanthin. Those are the two pigments that are naturally found in egg yolks.
And do people kind of lack those two things in your, say, average diet?
Yeah, eggs are one of the few really good sources of lutein and zeaxanthin, but you can also get those pigments in brightly colored vegetables, including corn and orange peppers. So it's a good idea to try to eat a lot of naturally colored foods, such as fruits and vegetables, and you can throw eggs in there as well.
I see. We had another emailer question come in asking about what are some of the health benefits of eating eggs, and can eating eggs regularly decrease the chances of any more serious illnesses or diseases, such as heart disease or things like that?
Well, eggs are such a great source of protein that we all need to keep our bodies strong, our muscles, and so on. Eggs also are one of the few natural sources of vitamin D. And many of us, especially in our area with the kind of weather we've had this winter, are not getting out in the sun and making any vitamin D on our skin. So, certainly eggs can provide that vitamin D, which is good for our immune system and also our bone health. So that protein and these natural pigments and the natural vitamin D really make eggs a standout. And other research has shown that if we have eggs for breakfast, it really builds that satiety, so we're less likely to overeat later in the day. So having that protein, and it doesn't have to be eggs, but having protein for breakfast in combination with, at least a couple other food groups is really good way to get your morning started.
So, Julie, as folks, just a second, Dean, but as folks have been worried about their high cost of proteins as of late, and eggs can be an alternative to that, although even those have shown some spikes in the budget, what would be some alternatives and recipes that you could use instead of the ever-powerful egg? What are other options folks might want to look at?
Well, there are a number of different options, and it depends on what you're trying to make. So, for example, if you're going to make muffins or banana bread or something like that that will call for eggs, you can often use applesauce, like a quarter cup of applesauce as a replacement for the eggs, or use mashed banana, a fourth of a cup, or vegetable oil, fourth of a cup, or yogurt or buttermilk, again, a fourth of a cup. And here's a really unique one that I heard at a conference one time. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the term aquafaba. I wasn't. It's the liquid found in canned chickpeas or other canned dry beans. And that, if we use 3 tablespoons of that somewhat gelatinous liquid that comes out of the peas or beans during that canning process, that actually works pretty well as an egg substitute.
And Julie, so I love hard boiling eggs and using them as a snack. I mean, it just there's a lot of protein in it, fills you up, it's good for you, the whole works. Now, every time I hard boil eggs, they come out different. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the kind of egg or I usually cook them at the same time. Sometimes the yolk will come out green. Sometimes it's a nice yellow. Why would that happen? Probably because they're cooked too long if they turn green. But what is the best way to hard boil eggs and how long?
Well, I'm not trying to advertise any product, but some people have, in fact, I had one until my daughter took it from me. It was a little pod that cooks eggs, and they're perfect every time. So it's just a little portable egg cooker. There also are some of those available for use in the microwave oven. But if it's turning green, that means that you're having a reaction from overcooking between the proteins in the egg. So really the best way to cook an egg is not to boil it. It's to bring the eggs in cool water to a boil, cover it, pull it off, and let them sit for, I think it's 15 minutes. I don't have that recipe in front of me, but that prevents that natural chemical reaction from occurring.
So you bring it to a boil, but you don't boil them and then take it off and let them sit for 15 minutes?
Yep, and if you go to, I think it's called the Incredible Edible Egg, or it's the Egg Board that came up with that method, and that does lead to some nice-looking eggs, so they're not going to have a green halo.
Right.
See, Dean, we're going to have to get you one of those Julia Child cookbooks or cooking classes.
I'm a decent cook. Just occasionally I get sidetracked and
you get gray eggs.
And I get green eggs.
Green eggs and ham.
Green eggs and ham.
Did you say you're occasionally a decent cook? That's what I got out of that message.
Hey.
Occasionally.
But also, after Julie said she makes sure to date all her canned goods and the things that go in her fridge, I've come to realize her kitchen is far more organized than any one of ours, guys. Any one of ours.
Oh, I'm
no
sure
way we're
by
doing that.
far.
Well, some days.
Julie, I had another. I got two last questions before we wrap things up here. One of them was going back to being allergic to eggs. Is it the yolk, the white, or can it be both that people can be allergic to?
It's the protein within the egg. So it could be either, because there's protein throughout an egg.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if you're allergic to eggs, you can't separate eggs and eat the yolk or the white. You can't eat eggs at all. I do have some allergen handouts that my dietetic students worked with me on our NDSU Extension website. So I certainly welcome you to just Google NDSU Extension Food and Nutrition, and you'll find probably 300 or more publications, including allergens.
And Julie, I know for nutritional facts, eggs are very good in that. Is it okay to eat raw eggs? Let's say you're making, I know a lot of people that are trying to lose weight or bodybuilders, you see them just have raw eggs. They'll shake it up and just drink that. Is that safe?
I would not recommend that because there's always a risk of salmonella, which is a bad bacteria that could be in eggs. It's not going to be in every egg, but we don't recommend it. Plus, when you cook an egg, you aid the digestibility of the protein. So if you want to really digest all those good nutrients in eggs, I would certainly recommend that you cook them and reach the safe temperature that we suggest, which I said was 145.
And would that go the same for our animals? Because I know my last dog, she loved, like if you just put a fresh cracked egg on her, like if she wasn't eating her dry food, you put an egg on there, she'd eat the whole thing. Same thing with dogs. Go ahead and cook it. It's not safe for dogs either to just put a raw egg on their food.
Well, I'm not a veterinarian, but I've raised a lot of dogs, and I always cook their eggs. They really like eggs as well.
Okay.
And Julie, I had mentioned that I was going to take one for the team over here and ask you this question, but what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, I don't think I have an answer for that. I'd say the chicken came first.
Oh, Julia, well, this has been awesome and great. Thanks for taking some time out of your day. If people want to get more information about eggs, about other food and safety from you at the NDSU Extension, or if they want to get more information from getting in contact with you, how could they do so?
The best thing is to just Google us or use your search engine you like, NDSU Extension Food and Nutrition, and that should take you to our site. So just do the search.
All right. Well, thank you very much again. And Julie, have a great rest of your afternoon. Hopefully we don't get too much snow to have to move tomorrow afternoon.
I hope not. I am supposed to go on a plane trip tomorrow morning, so we'll see what happens.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with that. When we come back with Weather and Ag in Focus after the American Ag Network, we got a couple more ag topics that we're going to get to. Got to take another look at that forecast. And again, if you want to join in on this conversation, ask a question, 701-293-9000. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Bonnie and Mastati from Bonnie and Friends. Join us weekday mornings beginning at 5. Coming up on our next show, Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki will be watching the track of this latest system, which is going to drop a whole lot of snow across our region. Driving will be difficult. As usual, your Road Warrior reports are welcome. And Dr. Alicia Wisniewski, Prairie Winds Veterinary Center, will be joining us. We will talk about the value of a routine blood screening for your pet. All this and more in the next Bonnie and Friends beginning at 5 a.m. Join us.
Here's some big news. The 2024 election could be America's last. That's the shocking conclusion of best-selling author David Horowitz. In his new bestseller, The Final Battle, David Horowitz reveals a secret war led by far-left Democrats and a new woke generation who want to destroy our culture and freedoms. Horowitz says they're in our schools, our churches, even our military. The Final Battle explains Joe Biden and big media and how they want to stop Trump and DeSantis in 2024 no matter what. Horowitz names the names of secret players working to change America. Newsmax calls Final Battle the book of the year. Dinesh D'Souza says it's the biggest expose of Joe Biden and the Democratic left ever. Get Final Battle in bookstores or check out the free offer and save $28. Just call 800-NEWSMAX. That's 800-NEWSMAX. Or go online to finalbattle611.com. finalbattle611.com to get your free copy today.
What do eyewear and weather have in common? Join us for the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast to find out. Each Tuesday morning, Dean Wysocki, Justin Storm, and myself, Ashley Freeborn, owner of Aspire Optical, will bring you the 7-day forecast.
You never know where we'll be or how it will be presented, but we promise to bring you the most accurate forecast this side of the Red River.
And learn how you can save big on eyewear from Aspire Optical.
Watch the Aspire Optical Eye on the Sky weekly weather forecast on our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter pages.
Trust us, this is weather and eyewear like you've never seen.
Pressure continues in the soy complex on Tuesday. This is the American Ag Network of Jesse Allen with this market update. We're talking now with Mark Lucas of StoneX. Mark, as we take a look at the grain trade on Tuesday, soybeans and bean meal, they are the storyline. Sharp losses there, breaking through some support levels, I think breaking down through that 50-day moving average in the May bean contract. As you take a look at what's going on in grains and oilseeds, let's start with that soy complex. Do you have any thoughts as to the breakdown here technically today?
Yeah, you hit it on the head. A lot of it is, a chart-related technical type of breakout, but there are some fundamentals behind it as well that pushed us into that. We're into that time of the year with Brazil harvest coming on. They're about 32% harvested on their soybeans at this point. Current values, if you just look at FOB Gulf values, for example, going to China, which is our major importing country, current values out of Brazil about $1.40 a bushel cheaper than out of the U.S., and so that does not bode well at all for, near-term exports. It's, that time of year, their harvest is coming in, and that's typically what happens. But they're cheaper by quite a bit yet, and, just kind of tells our bean market that we're seeing some demand destruction on the export side of things. And I think, wheat's had its bout, and corn had a couple big day sell-off. It's kind of beans' turn for the funds to jump in and do some selling. Other than that, we got the delivery process started here, first notice day postings today, and we had some deliveries on pretty much everything. We had a small amount of corn, small amount of beans, wheat. We had some deliveries in Chicago, Casey, and Minneapolis. So, some deliveries all across the board this morning, but more than anything else, it's just kind of good to get that out of the way and focus on other fundamentals.
That's comments with Mark Lucas of StoneX here on the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us 154 this afternoon. If you want to join in the conversation, quick ask a weather question, 701-293-9000. And we'll touch on one of those ag topics. And Bridgette, do you want to pick one from the hip, or do you want me to throw a curveball at you and just randomize this?
Okay, it's always good fun when you just catch me off guard. What do you got?
All righty. So, Dean, let's pick a number between 1 and 3.
Let's go 2.5.
2.5. Drain tiles, controlled drainage options for farmers. What can you tell me about these options on drain tile?
Everybody know what drain is? It's up in the air. Okay,
what is what?
Drain tile.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Drain tile. They are pipes that get buried down under your soil surface. that are perforated so that they will allow excess moisture to drain into them. And then they tie in from one to the other. They'll drain off the end of the field, kind of like a faucet or a culvert at the end. What farmers can do, though, and maybe not everybody realizes that, is you can actually put structures in there, even something as simple as a box that can change how quickly that flow comes in or off that drain tile. What that can do is help mitigate how much water content you keep on the field, how much you move out. Can also help if you're trying to prevent any loss of nutrients, nitrogens, etc., like that. So there are structures to do it. There are apps that folks can actually get to help control their drain tile systems. That is an evolving technology, if you will, and we will see more of that. We have a lot of active drain tile companies in this area. Many acres have already had drain tile added to them, and I don't think that's going to slow down right now, as we're seeing drain tiling a field can add to your yield, your profitability, and certainly gets you into your planting dates a little bit sooner.
So it just kind of acts like a valve in a way, right?
In a way, it kind of could, yeah. That's a good way to describe it. It's like a valve. But some of those fields, when you drive by in the spring and they sit with so much water on them, drain tile can help you move some of that water off.
So I would imagine this would be kind of a spendy project if you already have drain tile and you're modifying it.
It can be. It's also a little bit of a pain to do that, because when you put those drain tile pipes down, it takes a while for your land to recover, so to speak, right? They've got to settle in after you put them in the ground. There's a little bit of a bump there that's going to have to settle back down. So it takes a couple of seasons before you get that land back to where you want it. So you hate to disturb it too terribly much.
So what if you have your end pipe where all this water is flowing out of, and you just, in a way, throw a valve on that and just kind of, crack it from fully open to 10% open? Would that kind of work in a similar fashion?
In a similar fashion, it can. It doesn't have to be wide open all the time. And that's where some of these applications are going to come into, using software will come into play, where you can judge what your rate of flow is and if you want to change that at all on the end of your fields.
Look at that. I can totally see a really cool direction that's going to be going. You get that all like autonomized and controlled. You really got like precise detail on how much moisture is in your field. That's kind of cool.
Will you be doing this on your farming simulator game?
As soon as I can find a mod that supports that, I'll probably give it a shot.
One day, we should play that game online, just as a comparison of what each one of us would do on our farms.
Oh, my tractor would be on fire and the barn would be mowed down. My guess.
So
yours?
I envision Dean's farm's going to look.
Yeah, that's what
yeah. You'd look like the movie Son-in-Law in some ways, is my guess.
There you go.
Well, Bridgette, we're going to let you go a little early, but we know you got an auction going on over there, and I've heard that you're actually winning at your auctions, as you always do. So we'll wish you the best of luck, and thanks for joining us.
Bring me a bull home, would you please?
Thanks. I'll see if he fits in the back seat. Got it.
Okay.
That'd be a tiny bull.
It'd be a small one, wouldn't it?
Definitely it would. Well, Dean, why don't we take a look at that forecast? Because I know weather's going to be getting bumpy.
It is.
Yeah. What do you got?
Yeah, we've got a winter storm warning that goes into effect this evening, lasting through the overnight hours and into tomorrow. We're already seeing some light radar returns from about Lisbon out towards Jamestown. Some heavier snow south of the Bismarck to Jamestown line. South of there, moving up towards the 94 corridor. We'll start to see more snow developing, moving in from the south as we head towards the evening hours. I think your evening commute will be okay. Could be a little slippery, but nothing too bad. And then as we head into the overnight hours, that's where things start to go downhill. We'll see snow overspread the entire area, heaviest along and south of the 94 corridor, lighter amounts north and off to the east into Lakes Country. We're looking at snow, winds north 20 to 30, producing blowing and drifting snow. Your morning commute tomorrow is going to be an absolute mess, it looks like. A total snowfall expected about 4 to 9 inches throughout the area. Lesser amounts up towards Grand Forks and lesser amounts out towards Lakes Country. So weather is definitely going to play an impact. And again, it's the wind along with the snow that's really going to cause the problems tomorrow morning. I think we'll see close to 6 inches here in the FM area. And again, there could be banding of the snow that brings slightly higher amounts. So we'll keep an eye on that storm, but just keep up to date on the forecast if you have any travel plans for tonight and then especially into tomorrow. That'll do it for all of us here at Weather and Ag in Focus. Want to thank everybody for joining us. Stay safe as that snow approaches later tonight and into tomorrow. The Jay Thomas Show is coming up next.
970 WDAY AM and 93.